All right, well, let's just jump right back in here. We took one loss with this Whiteout deck.
I never heard of ya. A rap burglar.
Thank you, Colin. 6 months resub, nice. We called it Whiteout because we were, for a long time, thinking we were blue-white. We have, you know, the Eagle and some Hanged Executioner, so it seems like we'd be white, but the black came on strong late and pushed it out, and we have this grindy... First time I've been able to really loop and play with Scholar of Ages. It's been great. Thank you, Mama. Mama with the link.
Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar.
Everybody's showing how it's done. And Roger got it done. You did it. Nice work. Like, that's pretty fast turnaround on, I don't know how to do this, to did it. All right, I'm going to get out of your way for just a second up in deck building so you can get one last glance at this this beauty, and then we're going to try and finish it out. So far, the only thing I've seen channel points do is make people's next chat highlighted or something. Let's just say that's a new system for me to explore, and I haven't done it yet. You tell me, Jason. You tell me. All right, anyway, yeah, we took a loss yesterday because we hit a bug where the fuse wouldn't stop making the noise, so I quit to restart, but when I restarted, we could hear the battlefield, but we couldn't see it, so we lost a match without a fair fight. That's our only loss so far. If we peter out at 3 or 4 wins, maybe I'll submit a help ticket, a reimbursement request. If you ever have a bug in Arena that costs you a win or really makes your experience awful, you can reach out to Wizards and let them know, and they'll almost certainly take care of you. They're going to have systems in place to prevent abuse of such systems, but largely they want you to be super happy with your experience, and if something happens to wreck your event, they want to make it right. But if we get 5 wins anyway, I will not consider the event wrecked and we'll leave them alone. Oh, that's the thing. They would even do it if you had 5 wins. We could go 5 wins, and I could show them this legit bug and say it really made my experience stink. And they would still probably give me a reimbursement. But I don't want to test that or push that. It's not. But I feel like if I do, we're on a free-to-play account here, and if a bug of theirs cost us a chance at a win, then we should have done that. Oh, you know, I'd been playing pretty nicely technically in terms of playing a swamp first so that I could play a Fenlurker on 2 if we drew it, but in this case we were missing both the swamp, the second swamp, and the Fenlurker, so it didn't matter if we drew Fenlurker, we weren't going to be able to cast it. Can you submit the bug report and not ask for reimbursement? You probably can, but I wouldn't. I mean, it might not even work. Like, one of the reasons that reimbursements flow so easily from Wizards is because it's a lot less expensive for them to simply grant the reimbursement from someone who took all that time to fill out the form and let them know than it is to, you know, pay a person to take a magnifying glass to each request, right? Basically, white glove service is in some ways cheaper. But yes, yeah, so you can absolutely do report the bug, and if you're saying I should do that, maybe I should, but I'm also of the mind that, like, typically this stuff tends to come out, it's awfully hard to report a new bug after millions of people get their clicks on it. I don't know if Arena has 1 million people since the update. I'm not sure what the numbers are on this game right now. I'm going to go with Gorging Vulture. I want to murder the kitty. Little mix of stuff there. It's all right, Robert. Again, you know, it's not their biggest concern. All right, Oppo's going full on aggro. We are in like the 3-1 bracket, so this must be a decent aggro deck. We're gonna respect that. Pump the Sprite here, get in for 2, and then just murder the Embercat now as a 2-for-1, and taking out a obviously very dangerous threat here. They're in black, red. Let's see, is there instant speed, sack, and response? If there's no instant speed like sack and do something, we can just wait. Because heck, maybe they put another Maniacal Rage on the Embercat. Or if they want to tap it for mana this turn and they produce something even more threatening we could murder, we could do that, I guess. But I expect this Embercat is looking to beat face. Waiting for the possible, yeah, they might even go 5-5 double strike or whatever. So I just wait until the last minute. Yeah, we could Convoke, but I think this thing needs to die. If we draw a land, we'll go Boreal Elemental. If we draw a land, we could actually go Fenlurker Convolute. That might be the way to do it. Yeah, I'm going to go Fenlurker Convolute on this turn. Unfortunately, the one problem with a thing like a Sprite is it really betrays your intentions. But this is also because basically by like, why didn't we pump, right? I'm not going to pump here because we want to save our mana, and that's obviously going to be super suspicious. But I'm also like, I could show them the Convolute and be like, yeah, I'm going to counter anything you try next turn. I'm going to counter. If you want to take it off, go ahead. Yeah, making you happy was more expedient for them correcting you, but more to the point, Robert, making you happy was more important to them than seeing if you needed correction. But if they would look into the bug and then see like, oh, okay, they thought it was a bug, but it's not, and then they would just move on. No big deal. So they read the counter spell. I am going to attack for sure. I like leaving Convolute up. If they're going to play around Convolute, and we have 2 creatures on the board, and we can pump, and if we draw more land, we get to pump twice. I'm just going to hold Convolute here. Yeah, I'm going to wait, like, if they want to sit here taking 3 a turn, playing around a Convolute, that's fine by me. Maybe they weren't playing around it, maybe they just didn't have anything, but obviously, lovely Convolute target. I didn't want to pump the Lurker because it costs 3, and that would have made it so that we could not have cast that Convolute right there. This used less mana, that's all. It, you know, basically, with you with cards in hand, if you have cards in hand, the more mana you have available, the more threatening you are in terms of the possibility space of what you could accomplish. So that's why I like leaving more open mana as a default position on that. Here we're going to pump the Sprite once again and go ahead and play the Boreal Elemental. Maybe wait till hopefully we draw a land next turn that we can pitch to the Lich. What up, meme? Excuse me, meme. Well, we're gonna Lich anyway and see if we find more fodder for this beautiful soul salvage. And with 2 pumps, we can actually send in everything. If they want to trade Cutthroat for the Lurker, that's what we can do that this turn, and that's fine. So I'm gonna send all. Or we could let the Fenlurker, and if the Fenlurker trades, it becomes something we can soul salvage, maybe if we want to snag their last card next turn. Everybody's asking me about the channel point system, which I signed up for without even reading at all about, so you all know as much as I do about the channel point system. You probably know more. Jason just wants to pump no matter what. Yeah, maybe that's right, Jason. Maybe we pump block or no block. Because we are piling on the pressure here. They have some sort of instant in their hand. They may respond by killing the Fen Lurker, but that's okay too. We're still in great shape. Yeah, that's... Well, it looks like a blowout to pump six mana into something and then get a 1-mana trick to win the combat. It's fine. We just didn't want him to have removal for the elemental mainly. I think this is just game then. Unless they kill one of these attackers. Well, when you have murders for your opponent's aura up 2-drop, things generally go pretty well. Red-black. We could bring in the Gust. They're showing a willingness to put auras on their red creatures. Putting a red creature with an aura on top of their library is effectively like a 3-for-1. So I like bringing that in. What else do we see from them? Cutthroat. Just look only at blue-black. That's really our options. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it was probably the best of Oppo's deck. I'm going to keep the Vial since we did see some 2-toughness targets that are pretty decent. Sorin is not how I want to combat their aggro. If we want to combat their aggro, I mean, I think we're kind of already where we want to be there. I still don't think that's enough. People are pushing for Sorin sometimes here, but I still don't see it. Because the Death Touch until end of turn doesn't really do much, so this is purely effectively playing Sorin without significant vamps. I mean, we could end up with a Blood Burglar, and that obviously is pretty cool, but largely we're talking about life gain only, and I'm not quite there on that. Let's find a cut for this Gust, though, at least. Probably the Befuddle or the Convolute. We've shown the Convolute. Maybe I will cut that, but I'm going to take Befuddle out. I think the Convolute is alright. Except, sorry, did it again. I mean, hey, look, I'm allowed to go to time on my sideboarding. Stupid bug. This is what caught this sound bug we're getting right now is what led to the other bug that cost us a match yesterday. Sigh. Do you trust that the matchmaking is that good at matching records? I mean, I don't know what you mean by that good. It's exactly as good as it is, which is not perfect. Neither is this hand. It's 5 mana, which is prone to flood, but we do have an Evolving Wilds, which at least helps mitigate that a little bit by getting 1 land out of your deck. It's not a huge deal, but it's something. It also, at least, hey, we can go get blue and have our Cavalier mana. I think I'm going to keep this, but it's a little sketch. Also, Sanitarium Skeleton as a first play against aggro is not bad. I'm just a little bit worried that we get run over. But we just need to draw some of our action and we're okay. So I'm gonna keep it. It's not great though against a pretty aggressive deck, black-red deck that we saw. But the skeleton goes a long way. Yeah, I'll turn the sound off in a second. I'm going to start with the Evolving Wilds crack as opposed to the skeleton. Great that we drew this Lich. That just makes it all awesome. I really like playing this game with audio. I do. Yeah, I don't think keeping was wrong there with the skeleton and the fact that we just need to draw some of our action. Oh, beautiful. Let them go for their trick again. Anyway, the way that matchmaking tends to work is that you have a priority. Like you want to, you either make a formula that's some algorithm, some formula that calculates a number based on your record and your skill level. So you can do some kind of mixed formula that produces a number that they match based off of. But basically, no matter what you decide to be your core matchmaking system, you're not going to have perfect matches every time. So you have to decide how quickly it starts to look for worse matches to get players paired faster. So it starts looking for a great match and then broadens as it fails. And so the longer you wait in a queue, the more likely you're going to experience a mismatch in either direction, because the system will get more and more desperate to find you a game. All right, we're going to play the Lich and happily get rid of one of these lands. Even in the face of drawing one. Let's get rid of one of these islands. We're pretty much done at islands on 3, but we have a little more intensity in our ongoing swamp needs. So we'll do that. Bump. Apparently I gotta make my own sound effects now. I don't know what the artifact noise is. Ka-chunk. Well, yeah, we're not going to make that trade. We'll send in the Lich. I want to get another loot, and I don't feel the need to chump with Skelly yet. No, it's not the scene I want. Thanks for the reminder. We'll get that switched. Not bad, but this is not where I belong. Let's get over here. All right, Bone Splinter's Skelly is sweet times. But let's start with an attack. Yeah, that's fair. It was a freest chump in that spot. Maybe with nothing to do on the turn, I should have considered that as a spot to do the chump. You're right. Maybe that's a great thing to think about in the future. Well, because my general thought on chumping is like, do it later because the thing you chump with might get bigger. I know this can come back, but I just didn't think we were really going to do that. But if I had looked more closely, yeah, we didn't really have much to do this turn. So maybe it was the right time to do that. But let's see. Maybe we'll find something to do here off this loot. Hey, Mensch, on the road. That's true, but if I wanted to hedge, I could say like, all right, we'll block here, and if we don't find anything off the top or via the Lich, then we at least have the skeleton play. Yeah, it's a good pitch target. You're not wrong. Let's just swamp this time. I'm just going to play the other Lich. I played like one game of Brawl yesterday, Mensch, and just didn't get into it. It was just like, but it was at the tail end of my stream and I was a little bit done. I haven't given it a fair shake yet. I played it and just was kind of instantly done with it, but only because of my mindset at that moment, not because of some inherent flaw in the format. I'm a little tempted to just drop the Scourger and get it back later with salvage. Is that crazy? I don't want to give up Gust or Splinters, but maybe we just give up a land here. Again, kind of funny, worried about flooding. Looked like we might flood. Now if I pitch this land, we're like risking not making it to 5. But we have a lot to do here if we don't make it to 5. So I am going to pitch the island. Of course, if I do this, I'm going to draw the Cavalier immediately, but I'm doing it. gonna be greedy. Robert wants to pitch the Gorger. I kind of was like that, except I kind of just want to play the Gorger next turn, let it die, and soul salvage it back. Oh, yeah, let's adjust that. Thank you. I am a professional. All right. We were worried about flooding, and now we're about to get rifted. That's hilarious. You got it, buddy. Rift not unplayable. That's not why I'm saying hilarious or anything. Just funny that we thought we were gonna M20 Bo3. We thought we might flood, and instead we're getting we're stuck on stuck on 3. And record is like we're 3-1. All right, I think everything's correct now. Now I'm gonna send both liches. What's up, liches? I mean, it's land destruction with a very playable kicker, Storm. That's why I'm saying I'm not laughing at this card. I have come close to playing it many times. I tend to have other ways that I want to close out a game, but if you're attacking on the ground to win and you have no reach, no way to kind of close out a game when you've petered out a bit, this is totally playable. I'm going to leave the Skelly to actually chump, or to actually be a Bone Splinter's Hurl. I'm going to pitch the Scourger now that it's a little farther off from being something I want to cast. I might actually want to play this Blood Burglar and try to trade creature for creature instead of using our interactive spells on Embercat. And Sprite or Burglar, I'm going to keep... Looks like their game is on the ground, and we wouldn't be able to pump the Sprite into open wand mana, so I'm going to ditch the Sprite and play the Swamp and cast the Blood Burglar and have Ether Gust up. Exactly. Overcome is better, Inspired Charge is better, just having amazing flyers or incredible, unbeatable 5 and 6 drop. Mythics is better, but if you don't have any of that stuff, you can get away with a Rift and steal some games. Oh, funny, Resonator. Wow, Rift is super unplayable in Omniscience, huh? It's got to be one of your cuts, basically, unless you intend to loot it away. May as well play a Queen of Spades as a Tectonic Rift in Omniscience. All right, let's try to trade the Burglar for the Vamp, and still not feeling the need to, like... Although if they have... let's do this. I'm going to actually block the Embercat because they have shown... pump spells like Infuriate, and we have Ether Gust. So if they have Infuriate, we want them to put it on the Embercat so we can blow them out. So I'm going to do like this. It's a little bit weird of a block because normally we would want to use the Blood Burglar to take out the bigger creature, but in this case, I was playing to the known Infuriate in Oppo's deck. Well, we got to attack first before we decide if that swamp hits the battlefield. Let's do that. Definitely attacking. That's soul salvage. I'm gonna pitch. We don't even have a 5 right now. I'm gonna risk it. Pitch a swamp. We probably end up with a pitchable anyway. Okay, and now where are we at? We have 19 cards in library, so we could vulture again and really set up the soul salvage. It's funny. We were so gonna flood, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands in the yard. I mean, one of them was our evolving wilds, but still funny. It's got to be one of the creatures, and both of these just trade with the vulture vampire anyway. This might be removal later, but this actually helps us get in right now. I think I'm going to pitch the cutthroat and cast the vulture. We have our library is plenty thick. All right, there's our Cavalier, and we can go seek that back. We've lost our other soul salvage, though. Fair enough. Punished for no Avon lands. Maybe they're just hoping we deck ourselves here. In this case, maybe I will leave 1 back at this point. Threaten to trade off with that vampire. Am I worried about... 14 is a little low with them at 16 as well. I don't want to... Is it May? No, it's not a May. I'm just going to start attacking with 1 Lich. I'm not that worried. I think we get back Cavalier, and then we can't really, you know... It'll shuffle back and everything. Yeah, we can loot the skeleton. That's true. But it's not about just looting the skeleton. It's about not decking ourselves. Yeah, I mean that is my plan, to go get the Cav. We can do, I could also get the Fenlurker and get their last card, but we don't have the black mana for it. So Cavalier for sure, and then we can get something for a follow-up turn, or something like a Blood Burglar that we can play right now and blocks the Vamp, threatens to block the Vamp. Yeah, or we can just have Gust up, except there's nothing to Gust right now, so I kind of just want to get the old Blood Burglar. And we do have somewhere in our bottom cards the Scholar, so the Scholar can get us back a soul salvage, and so it's not even like we're stranding our quality stuff in the graveyard. As soon as we get Scholar, we get to get anything we want out of our graveyard. So I like the Burglar play.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
There's the Scholar. We could, of course, play the Cavalier, but I think we have time, and what I'd rather do here, I think, is... oh, no, we can't. In order to return, play, and sack the Skelly, we need 3 black, so we don't have what we need for a Feral. So maybe we offer a Feral for a Lich. And with the Skeleton, I don't want to just send 1 Lich, so we're going to leave both Liches back on D and go ahead and just play the Cavalier here. Put him on a clock. Put ourselves on a deck clock. And doesn't really matter what we keep. I guess we want a swamp on top. There we go. I guess if I had kept the swamp and put something else on top, we could have bone splintered, but I didn't want to bone splinter any of these anyway. Save bone splinter for when you have Skelly for the freebie. And we're in great shape right now anyway. Cavalier is a 3-turn clock. Yeah, I could have played a land this turn. So, yeah, I suppose I should have put a land in. I was thinking I'd already played a land. Minor punt. That we could have gone land and had Scholar available this turn. But we have plenty to do. We're in control of this game. I'm going to attack with the Burglar, too. They either chump with a Skeleton, trade with a Vamp, or give us 2 life back. And now we get the Skeleton trick anyway, although I don't even know if we bother sacking it. Like, we can... I guess we do, because I want Bone Splinters in the yard. A Scholar plus Bone Splinters plus Soul Salvage is the sick combo, as I finally figured out. Chat figured it out ahead of me. I had a place where I was supposed to get Bone Splinters, and I took Murder instead, because Murder just historically felt like the better card to me, but when you want to loop Scholars, you want the Bone Splinters. Leave up Convolute is possible, although let's see, how much can we do it? No, I've already committed. I'm pot committed. We're doing it this way. Hacking asks, do you have any uses for common and uncommon wild cards? I was speculating the other day, but crafting lots of commons, uncommons on day 1 of the new set still work towards vault progress? Yeah, right. That's what you want to do. I'm pretty lazy about it, but if you're really optimizing your free-to-play and you have a bunch of extra... like we have 99 uncommons and 51 commons, so probably not doing it right over here. But basically, if you get a huge surplus like this, yeah, you should start by immediately crafting everything that looks like you might use constructed or whatever, so that you immediately start getting more vault progress in your drafts. Because even though 5th copies of rares of commons and uncommons don't produce gems directly, they do indirectly produce gems because they produce vault progress, which eventually produces wild cards, which can produce gems. I am hot this morning. I'm hot every day, but I'm extra warm this morning. Except, this means that I now have a weak collared t-shirt on stream, which my wife said I wasn't allowed to do. Yeah, Vault Progress eventually gives you wild cards, but as we've shown on stream, you can use wild cards to turn rares and mythics into gems. So it's a long, slow process, but if you're free to play and don't care about constructed, that's the way to squeeze value out of your Vault Progress. Still, all right, let's restart. How does M20 compare to other recent drafts when they hit this point in time? It's got pretty good legs, I think. I'm still enjoying it. I was talking to Rob Schuster yesterday. He was saying Yanni Skolnick of R&D was the heavy lifter behind this set, so tip of the hat to Yanni for excellent work. Really great core set limited, I think. Maybe some things that you would tweak once you saw it in the wild and saw that maybe white was not doing what you wanted to do and elementals were a little strong. Like, I bet Yanni is, if he could go back now with the public information he has, he would tweak things a little bit. But as far as making a core set with the legs of a draft experience that makes me want to play for a while, I think it's great. I think it's doing it. No. Well, depends on your idea of a band. So I'm going to get a short sleeve shirt button down, and I'll be right back, and we're going to fix the land in here and try to get our 5th win. Oh, you can't see your win-loss, like using some third party, you mean? Maestro is doing the math on vault progress to gem, and you're right, it's exceptionally insignificant, but I'm kind of a economy theorist. Like, I don't even care about what the value is exactly. I just like figuring out the puzzle of what is statistically correct, right? So I acknowledge that worrying about commons, which is why anybody who's watched me draft knows that I only do uncommons for vault progress when there is nothing for my deck. Literally nothing. Oh, I should probably tap into the output log more. Maybe I could automate my records and stuff format. I'm sure that I'm way under-teched for what I could be doing around here. All right, so yeah, give me just 1 second. I also want to get I'm empty on beverage, so I'm going to get a better shirt and a beverage, and then we'll 5-win this draft, yeah? Be right back. We are still finishing up yesterday's draft. We picked up win number 4. Notch that. We were going to switch to Avon's. And we'll get back in. Hey, Robert, was it you who was asking for ways to improve at gameplay decisions more quickly, to be more efficient at your improvement in the gameplay decisions of Limited? Somebody asked about that in the last few days, and I made an answer that I posted to YouTube. But I did want to follow up and say that I forgot something that I consider a major way that players can improve quickly at Limited. And that is watching content interactively, watching recorded content interactively. Go back and watch Ben Stark or me or anybody, but in particular, like the best minds in Magic. Go watch them draft and watch them play, But at each turn, pause the video, decide what you would do that turn, play the video, see what the pro does, and if they do something different, then you have a real moment to try and learn. So that's a great approach as well. We're going to keep this. We have a Blood Burglar and then a Convolute, hopefully, with some land. Yeah, most people just want to watch content passively, and that's cool, but if you really want to hone your play skills, you need to quiz yourself, and you quiz yourself by saying, all right, what would I do? Okay, that's what I would do. Now, what would Ben Stark do? Looks like they're going to have Threat of Activation on the Inquisitor and get the free attack in. Yeah, play for 25 years, but, you know, that's not very efficient, because the question was, how can I basically more efficiently get better at the gameplay decisions? Sigrist. I mean, anybody competing in the Mythic Championships who's also streaming limited is probably somebody you could do this with and get some interesting insights. All right, let's see. They're coming out strong. They did miss their third land drop. That means Fenlurker is probably not that great because they have easy pitches when you've got when you're mana screwed that way. We can leave. I like leaving Convolute up here at Convolute and Murder and just passing. And we'll. Do we want? Yeah, we got to keep the Burglar back to threaten that Knight. And we'll decide if we need to, like, murder the Knight when we see what Oppo wants to do. Basically, Oppo will cast a spell, and when they cast a spell, we have a decision time between Murder or Convolute based on what we see. Yeah, that's a good point, James. You want to find a pro who's very good at explaining why they did what they did, so that when you see something done differently, you have a good explanation behind it. And Ben is that's why I kind of default to Ben. Feel like Ben and I have the same approach to streaming, except he's a much better Magic player. I have other qualities, but, you know, I'm not going to pretend that we're on the same on that front. No blocks here. That's good. Suggest no tricks. Blocking is only a two... It's not about just life swings, though, hacking. It's about threatening to actually trade here. Yeah, so let's Convolute the Thief. And we don't have, like, Murder and Splinters, or even Fenlurker and Splinters. This could be a time to lurk some Fens. But actually, we're probably going to... If we murder here... Let's just murder and attack. Then I'm going to murder the Knight, and then we'll attack. And then I kind of like the trades a little more here, in terms of attacking and getting into a race situation with an active Burglar. Don't, you know, losing a Murder is tough, but we do have Bone Splinters in case of emergency. Emergency! Emergency! Let's see. We're gonna... Actually, though, I'm gonna Fenlurker, let them pitch a card. Let's make them lose a couple of cards, and then... Well, let's see. Maybe we just lose the Burglar. Can't Splinters and Fenlurker, which is the problem. I'm gonna Lurker now. We may just take a smack from the Regisaur. What'd they get? Servant? Okay, that's not bad. Especially exiled. Would it venture out of Fantasy? Tall Order, unless they decided to rebrand and make a reskinned Magic in a completely different story universe. I did not. And actually, Mama, you know, I often miss great questions, and any of my regulars, especially my mods, or, you know, if you see that I've missed a really good question that you think that would be fun for me to ask, like, copy it, and then when we get between games, we can do AMAs and stuff, and people who can dredge up the questions that I missed would be really useful. Taking 9 is rough, but they're down to their last card, and we're gonna lose the Lurker to take out the Regisaur, and then have an Elemental for the Inquisitor. And we get to attack back for a pair, unless this is a creature, but we'll see. I'm just gonna take this all, though, is the bottom line. Alright. So we don't get our Splinters target, but we have to use the Blood Burglar, but that's still okay. We attack with the Burglar, we Splinters it. If we draw another land, we even get to Boreal, so that would be... Magic Gods are like, oh yeah? Draw another land, Boreal? Show me, hot stuff. Well, it looks like we can at least Bone Splinters and Soul Salvage. Mirrodin Kaladesh for borderline sci-fi. Steampunk is... I don't think steampunk is sci-fi, and I don't think just artifacts is sci-fi. I don't know. It's a weird blend, I suppose. Anyway, we're gonna go Dedasaur. I should look. I'm just assuming we want to cast this, but actually we only have a Blood Burglar, so we don't. I'm glad I didn't throw that out there. We don't want to do a Soul Salvage just for a Blood Burglar. We'll take another hit from the Inquisitor, drop an Elemental, and we should be fine. Should be. You know, they have a deck, has cards in it. Cards do things. Gonna hold... Well, we want 7 at least for Scholar, but I'm gonna hold the land now because we might draw a Lich or something, and I'll be happy to have that island in that case. We have 2 Liches to draw. Despite my slaughter of dinosaurs, Willosaurus has decided to follow me. Thank you. Do we have the time to send the Elemental? 16, 15, 14, 13. We go to 5. They go to 10. We go to 3. They go to 7. We go to 1. Yeah, we don't win the race right now, so I'm going to... play lands, because if we do get in a spot where we have to Soul Salvage, we want to be sure to be able to play something after we salvage, but we need to stay back on D right now. I think maybe I wanted to play the Swamp over the Island. There's more need for heavy intensive swamps late, and we really only need 3 islands for the Cavalier, so if the choice comes to it again, I'll try and play swamps and pitch islands. So, do we know what adventure is? Do we know how adventure works yet? I've only glanced at the cards. All right, yeah, definitely gonna go ahead and vulture here with the Soul Salvage. In fact, I want to go. I'm gonna do it with 2 islands. Do it this way. Land, Sprite, Scholar. Ding, 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 ding. Scholar. Oh yeah, we're doing it. You cast the spell and exile the creature, but you can cast the creature from exile. Okay, interesting. You give up, Oppo? It's gonna be rough for you now. It's gonna be rough for Oppo now. If they have discard, they can get back in this, but if they do not discard this Scholar from my hand, I don't think they can win. If we get to untap and cast Scholar, I don't know how they come back. Yeah, that's going to be rough, and let's make sure they leave us a black. They do. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get aggro now. We're going to get the Splinters Salvage Loop combo. And start using it immediately. Black white with some 1s, a lot of 2/2s, and a registrar to worry about. A lot of 2/2s, good 2/2s. Let's get Scholar and something else to cast. Sprite, I guess. Send all. We connect with these, the thief can't even attack. A little punished, but not hugely punished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. But Kimmeline, you're not wrong, and I mean that's the tricky part of hold a land, play a land. We have two liches. We do a lot of looting in this deck, so it was an interesting decision to figure out whether we were supposed to hold land because of the potential of loot, or play land for the potential of, you know, Scholar and very mana hungry experiences. Looks like Oppo going out on their terms. I approve. All right, black, white, heavy bears, lots of bears, and we saw some 1 toughness in the tokens, but I don't think that's enough for like a Heart Piercer bow. Honestly, we don't have much to bring in, even in knowing, okay, yeah, great, they've got a lot of bears, Ryan, what does that do for you? Not much with this sideboard. We're not going to bring basically in any of this. I think we're just running it back. Still don't want Sorin just because of life. I mean, we could try, like, people have wanted to play Sorin, and I've really pushed back with only 2 vampires, but if people really wanted to try, we could, but I think the deck is fine as is here in this matchup. Fenor wants to try it. All right, fine. Look, for science, I'll put it in, but I'm not super happy about this choice, and I'm gonna go with Convolute because we may be able to befuddle that. I mean, I'm going to pitch Convolute. I'm going to keep Befuddle because I think we may be able to take out Regisaur after a Befuddle and not lose too much in the exchange. We've used Portal in other matchups. We've tried it. We could do both. Don't let the rope happen, Fuzzbuzz is like, sorry, I can't. I'm not going to worry about their bug. I'm not going to shave 25 seconds off of my sideboarding clock because of their bug. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with just this science. We're not going to add the science of Portal. We did that in some other matchups. Don't worry, I got it. I mean, worry in general because it's totally in my range to not have it, but in this case, I got it. Well, we did Portal before. We've already done Portal Science with this deck. If you want to see the Portal Science, watch yesterday's VOD or check out the YouTube videos after I put them both up today. I'm going to keep this. That's been part of people's theories, David, is that Sorin will just make people panic. And while that's true, it makes... I don't like trying to leverage, you know... If I'm talking about the quality of a card in how it makes lesser players play even worse, it's not a huge selling point for me. Hey, look, we did it again. Technical play. This time we had both swamps and no Fenlurker yet, so I made sure to play a swamp first, and boom, we got hit with the Fenlurker, and I'm going to go ahead and play it. If it dies, we might want to soul salvage it back before the Oppo has dumped their hand. Portal Science is... Science. Ring piece, you're not wrong. I didn't say it was nothing. I just said it's not a factor that's hugely important to me. I'm not like... since you've pointed out that bad players play badly against this card, I'm in. You know, that's just not my attitude about that. We could murder this, but we're just going to Vial. Let's see, what do we have for 4? We have nothing we want to do in our hand on 4. So yeah, let's play the Vial so that we have... maybe we have something to do on 4. If we draw a 2-drop, we can Vial and 2-drop. Yeah, we can look at the Exile. Plains. A little bit of the wrong end of our deck here. Double Soul Salvage and Scholar is not a 3-card combo we want to see on turn 4 in our hand. But the Murder and the Dragonfire hopefully help us survive until these cards matter. All right, well, we got a Vulture, which we could cast, and it sets us up with potential salvage targets for the future. It does not hold... Let's see, would trade with the Fencing Ace. Yeah, maybe we play Vulture. I like playing Vulture here. See if we can trade with the Fencing Ace. That'd be fine. My prediction on the movie Weird Science doesn't hold up. That would be my that would be my prediction. Oh, that's a good point. Bo makes it that not a trade, so we'll see what we want to do here. Maybe we need to Dragonfire the Fencing Ace. So I gotta say no blocks here, and we're getting a little low on life, but if we draw an untapped land, we get Murder and Vial, and we should be able to recover fine from this position. I keep meaning to schedule Marsh for an appearance, but I want to do it far enough in advance that I can let people know and actually turn it into something that drives viewership. You know what I'm saying? Weird Science holds up as a song. I doubt Weird Science holds up as a movie. Somehow the concept of a couple of straight white boys building a sex robot is not high on modern standards of entertainment. We could salvage for their last card, but we just put, there's too much going on here. I think we got to keep all of our removal at the ready. Oh man, I love so many movies from the 80s, and it is amazing. I think any of you are human. If I just believed what the 80s were trying to teach me culturally and held on to that today, that'd be not a very good outlook. That would be amazing, actually. Flip that script. That would be an interesting commentary on the changes in society, actually, Phil. I don't know how serious you are, but a gender swap reboot of Weird Science would be interesting. Okay, so I could have I should have, yeah, I screwed that up. I should have taken out the Inquisitor before attacks so that Vulture had good attacks or blocks on the Soulmender. And now I feel like we need to use our yeah, it could be Inspired Charge. Let's see, I think we need to block. And so I'm going to block here. And then we'll see if they do have a charge or something. It doesn't look like a charge. They might have gone for it there. Let's murder Griffin Protector. And let's Vile Inquisitor. Well, doesn't really matter. Why'd you want to wait till after combat in case of the charge? I almost at that point would have been okay with them using the charge there. And I certainly didn't want to take the damage. I decided not to Vile the Ace. It was a tough call. But Fencing Ace without augmentation produces 1 point of first strike, and the Inquisitor threatens 2 points of first strike, and that 2 points just matched up so much better against what we've got going that I wanted to do it that way. And here we're going to soul salvage something. How about Lich? Lich seems correct here. I mean, we could take Lurker as well. Maybe we Lurker their hand. Vulture gets us more fodder for additional soul salvaging, but Lich can actually block that thing even off the ping. I'm going to do it this way. We got another soul salvage. We can get the other one later. And I'm going to get... If I Lurker, of course, they can just attack and kill it, but that's okay. I'm really playing the Lurker here to get their last card, although they're going to draw a card, so they probably don't empty their hand this next turn, so I am actually going to go ahead and play the Lich. Ooh, Murder. I'm going to ditch the Soul Salvage since we have Scholar to get our Soul Salvages back. I mean, they got the Murder, which kind of stinks, but Scholar's getting it all back. All right, well, we could lurker away their last card, or we could just scholar while the scholaring is good. And since I didn't play a spell here, it's probably the same thing. They're unlikely to empty their hand next turn, so I'm going to go ahead and scholar here and start getting this stuff going. And we'll do the Splinters salvage maneuver. I didn't want to swing. I want to actually keep our life total high. Maybe I'm being a little paranoid about life total at 11, but was thinking of Lich on defense. Maybe I was supposed to swing with it. But we'll take this trade now. Actually, we could just take the Scholar trade. We want it dead anyway. Oh, and it's not dead. Well, we'll see. Their choice. The reason not the Scholar is to give it have a Bone Splinters target, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, we're looping and looping and looping, and they're going to be ground into the dust here with the current situation. In fact, I think I want to go. Let's do this. We don't even need to Splinters. We can just attack and then Splinters if they don't block. I mean, they know our whole hand here. We're an open book. It's a good book, though. Scary. Hat, 9 months. Thank you. Good to have you here. Yeah, let's lurk. Well, let's make sure what I want to do here. Because we can lurk and lich. No, I can't lurk and lich, but I'm going to lurk anyway. Scholar and lich. Might get exploding planeswalker here. They're in a terrible spot. I'm going to keep playing land. We got a lot to do here. Although we have a lich. Let's see. 8, 7, 6, 5. Nah, I want a scholar. Put 9 out, and we have nice pumps threatened here. But not going to pump. We're going to do scholar tricks. And that would be, of course, Soul Salvage and Bone Splinters. I could use the Bone Splinters right now. We could send the Fenlurker back. I kind of want the Scholar to keep dying, though. I'm just going to do that. They might do something to, like, strip the Scholar out of our graveyard, but I think we can even win from Lich and Soul Salvage here. So I'm just going to do this now. This also prevents them from just killing the Fenlurker with the ping, and the Fenlurker can actually do some damage here. Especially the Scholar loop when they're kind of stuck on 4 mana. I mean, it's Oppo's being very optimal here and making sure that they don't have a way out, but I just think they're going to get crushed under this advantage pretty quickly. Go. Wait, let's actually start with, we're not going to do Soul Salvage and Scholar this turn, so we can start with a Lich, actually, and pitch the Skelly. But given that, actually, maybe we want to start with an attack. Think through your turn, Ryan. Okay, so we're going to probably Lich and mill away the skeleton, and then that leaves us with 6 mana left, which we can Soul Salvage for Scholar plus a Vulture, and then play the Vulture. Okay, that's the turn. So we start with the Fenlurker attack. Look at Ryan figuring out his turn before making decisions. Sometimes he does that. I mean, I'm just going to pitch the land. Skeleton is clever, but we might as well just keep it in hand and recast it at this point. Scholar Vulture. Although, of course, here we're going to cast the Vulture. We have 17 cards. That's plenty to win this game from. Soon to be 13. What have you done with points? I don't know what's going on with that emote, but that's a weird thing to be able to do with points, I guess. Ooh, you're on a graphic novels kick, you say. Oh, what did they have? Ah, Disfigure. Got it. I'm in no hurry to try and win a damage race when we get to just sit here and grind Scholar value. Really not. Have you... I keep trying to get my daughter to read... she loved Good Omens. Like, we watched Good Omens together, and she loved it. I'm like, honey, you gotta read this... Gotta read Sandman. So I got the Sandman graphic novel, and I haven't been able to get her to read it yet. It's like, ugh. Get yourself some Sandman if you haven't yet. Ah, cool. Tablet style. Nice. $12 cards, 12 life. We can do this. Got an elemental. There we go. See, we don't need to pump a Fenlurker. That's too much work. We just make them, demoralize them until they scoop. All right. No, I should have her read Good Omens. That would be good. I'm gonna actually restart, turn on the sound, and then we'll claim the prize. Well, we only took one loss with that deck, and it was in a match where one of our games was stolen by Wizards. So, as far as I'm concerned, we 5-0'd that one. I'm not going to submit for reimbursement, but when I put my record into the spreadsheet, I'm going to call this one 5-0. I'm not taking that loss. It was handed to me by Wizards. Great. 2,100 in gems, 6 packs. We're going to get a bunch of gems out of the prize packs because we have 4x of rares. So there's this bug where if you're sideboarding and you go to rope during sideboarding, the rope sound persists throughout the subsequent game, and it's really awful and annoying, but you can fix that by quitting and by restarting your client. We attempted to fix that problem by restarting the client and instead created a new problem of the matchmaking screen being up on screen and us hearing game sounds in the background. So our opponent was playing Magic while we were looking at a matchmaking screen. I really don't know anything about Pratchett's personal life, actually, Hat, so if he is a tortured artist, that makes me sad, or was. I know he has passed. Froomsy had a black-white deck the other night with 4 murders and 3 thieves. Yeah, 4 murders, 3 thieves will bring you to 7 wins quite a bit. We're going to pop these packs, see what we get. Then I'll take some questions before we draft again somewhere. I don't have a VOD or YouTube video that explains your process philosophy on building your collection in a new format. Do you mean specifically building your arena collection? I don't want to speak to things that I'm not really an expert in, and since I don't really seek to build my collection in a way a lot of constructed leaning players do on Arena, I might not be the best source of that, but I can tell you what I've gleaned.